It's a Christmas book haul. It's a Christmas book haul. You know what I mean? Yo, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I am here to talk about the books that I got for Christmas and the books that I gave for Christmas. And it's getting settled in here. Just getting chilled in here, sitting by the Christmas tree. I don't know, well, should I start with the books that I gave or the books that I got? I think I'll start with the books that I gave. And I'm just heating myself up a little cup of coffee because it's actually the day after Christmas. I don't know if I'm going to get this video edited and up today, but that is my goal. I'm also filming a vlog, but I'm not quite finished filming that vlog, so I think today is going to be a pajama day. It's going to be a reading day. I'm going to finish reading, well, maybe finish reading the Overstory, which I started. Anyway, that's about the vlog that's going to go up. I think it'll go up sometime this week, but it's not going to go up today because Christmas is a lot of work, y'all. I made a full turkey dinner and managed to escape my dad from his residence, and we had a nice time, but it's time to chill now. It's time to relax. I got some amazing books for Christmas, and I gave some books that were huge hits this year for Christmas. The first book that I gave, I don't actually have it with me because I gave it to my mom, and it's over at her place. I gave her, now she's already read this book several times, and she had a copy out of the library, and then she doesn't have her physical copy anymore. So I decided to get her a copy, and she was really touched and happy that I did, so it was nice. So I got her a copy of Bring Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel, which, if you don't know about Bring Up the Bodies yet, it is I don't think it's the first in the series, but I think it was the first one that was written, and there's a 3-part series that includes Wolf Hall and a new one that's come out called The Mirror and the Light. And it really basically follows the court, the Elizabethan court, and during the time of Thomas Cromwell. And that's really, I've read it, but I have to reread it because it's been over a decade since I read it, and details be fuzzy, if you know what I mean. So she was really happy with that, and it might be one of my, I'm not sure what my reading goals are going to be for 2022, but it might be one of my reading goals to read that series. I'm not sure. I might save it for another year. I have a lot of things that I want to read, as you will see. I'm just going to start out with the 2 books that I already spoke about on, I think I spoke about them in the same reading vlog. Yeah, I think I spoke about them in the first reading vlog that I did for the Reindeer Readathon and for Vlogmas. So the first one is this very pretty copy of Pigeon, which is a novella by Patrick Suskind, which I got for my daughter because she had read Perfume, which she thinks might be like one of her favorite books of all time. She had said, oh, you know, you can't find his books anywhere, and so I just went on the internet. When she opened it, she was like, where did you find this? And I was like, the internet. I don't know. It's like a role reversal. It's like, you know, like that movie 13 Going on 30 where they switch. Anyway, I'm curious to read it. I'm taking, what is it? I'm like first in line to read all of the books that I've given to especially to my daughter. So then I also got Despised and Rejected. I got it. I ordered it from England. It's a Persephone classic. It's a story about a pacifist. And that's kind of all I really know about it. The author was a pacifist, and her books were published under a pseudonym. I think this one was published under the pseudonym A.T.Fitzroy. But she was her name is Rose Allatini. Persephone publishes books by unknown women authors. She was very excited to receive this, and as I mentioned in the vlog, like our paternal grandfather was a pacifist, and he was jailed during the war, Second World War in the UK for being a pacifist. So anyway, interesting topic. I'm not sure if I'll read that, but she was really happy to receive that. So I'm just going to get my coffee. I'll be right back. Pause. Hold that thought. Oh yeah. So I got my coffee. I put a little something in my coffee this morning. Little touch of Bailey's. Look, I made this really yummy looking cake. Apple cake. I made some apple cake. It's so good. I had all these apples hanging around in my house. All these apples hanging around in my house and needed to use them up. So I made this apple cake. It's so delicious. You know, Christmas time. Eat lots, drink lots, read lots. Okay. This is too high. So I should come down. I should come down a little bit. Back to the books. Really, this apple cake is killing me though. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Apple cake. I'll leave the recipe linked. So good. I'm telling you, I swear by this, the Smitten Kitchen. She has the best stuff. Okay. On to the books. The next book I gave was The Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett. I'm not sure if my followers have read this book, but this is generally considered to be like the best detective novel ever written. I read it when I was really young and remember it stuck with me. I really, really enjoyed it. Hard-boiled detective story. The summary is a treasure worth killing for Sam Spade, a slightly shop-worn private eye with his own solitary code of ethics. That man named Gutman and Bridget O'Shaughnessy, a beautiful and treacherous woman whose loyalties shift at the drop of a dime. These are the ingredients of Dashiell Hammett's coolly glittering gem of detective fiction, a novel that has haunted generations of readers. And I think it's safe to say that I would include myself in that generation, because I read it when I was young and I have never forgotten it. And then I picked up this little Almost Midnight, 2 festive short stories by Rainbow Rowell. One of them takes place on New Year's Eve, and they're just 2 short little love stories. And I thought it was really cute. I don't know, Rainbow Rowell's writing a lot of fantasy, and I don't know, it's kind of, I want her to write more. I really liked Landline, and I really liked, what was the other one that she wrote? Fangirl? I'm just not a big fantasy person, so that's just me being selfish. For all you fantasy lovers out there, glad that Rainbow Rowell is writing for you. Then I picked this up at one of the charity bookstores in Montreal called Renaissance Prix. This is The Kite Runner. I read this a few years back and thought it was amazing. It's really a really excellent, excellent, excellent book, and wanted to share it with my daughter. So this is a book about a young boy in Afghanistan around the time before the Russians invade his country. On the back it says, this powerful first novel tells a story of fierce cruelty and fierce yet redeeming love. Both transform the life of Amir. Khaled Hosseini is privileged young narrator who comes of age during the last peaceful days of the monarchy, just before his country's revolution and its invasion by Russian forces. But political events, even as dramatic as the ones that are presented in The Kite Runner, are only a part of the story. In The Kite Runner, Khaled Hosseini gives us a vivid and engaging story that reminds us how long his people have been struggling to triumph over the forces of violence, forces that continue to threaten them even today. I just remember it being really moving and wanted to share it. I think it was just one of the best books that I read in the last decade, so I wanted to share it. And then I picked up The Stranger, and this copy is so crazy. And the spine, check out the spine. I don't know. That spine is really cool. Since it was first published in English in 1946, Albert Camus's first novel, The Stranger, L'Étranger, has had a profound impact on millions of American readers through the story of an ordinary man who unwittingly gets drawn into a senseless murder on a sun-drenched Algerian beach. It sounds so intriguing. Camus explored what he termed the nakedness of man faced with the absurd. It's kind of Kafka-esque. I really want to read that. I've never read it. Oh, and I guess I should have talked about this one first too, because I already talked about it in my other vlog. I talked about this in one of the vlogs that I did for December. This is the story that inspired the tale of Sweeney Todd. The String of Pearls was published anonymous. It says anonymous. I think they know that it's either one of 2 authors. It's a horror story that was published as a serial in the serial that published the Penny Dreadful series, I think. Very excited response to receiving this one. So that was great. In our family, we write little clues to the gifts when we give them. And I'd written this clue and it was just such a giveaway. Like sometimes I'm good with the clues and sometimes I'm not so great. So the clue for this book, if y'all want to guess it, was a place where you might enjoy having breakfast. And of course, I'm referring to Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote. This is the first Truman Capote to enter our library. I really want to pick up In Cold Blood for myself. Got so many books at this point that I'm going to leave it for the moment. But I thought that this was a nice one. It's a novella. No, is it a novella? It's a short novel. It has another story in it, I think. Yeah, it has a Christmas story in it and another story. It has a couple of stories in it. So it's a part of a short story collection. And that was also really well received. Of course, it was guessed immediately. I also gifted Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. This is written by a Canadian author from Ottawa. Her name is Emily Austin. I've never read anything of hers, but this has gotten a lot of acclaim. I think it could be good, and I think it would be good for someone my daughter's age, and I also think it's inspirational for her to see an author, you know, from just down the road. So I'm curious about this one too. It's about a girl who can't stop thinking about death, and she has anxiety, and it's supposed to be very humorous and just about the difficulties of being a human being, I assume, but I don't know too much about it. So it's always fun not to know too much about a book. And then I picked up this dystopian one, which I'd heard really good things about for her as well. This is How We Lose the Time War. One is about two spies, two rival agents in a war that stretches through the vast reaches of time and space. And they come together. They have nothing in common except that they're both the best and that they're alone. That's the back cover. Looks really good. It's not a super long one, and it looks like it could be a lot of fun. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the books that I received for Christmas, and then I'm going to talk about some of the books that I picked up for myself. So here's the first one. Damned. Damned by Chuck Palahniuk. This is the guy who wrote Fight Club. This was a gift for me for Christmas for my daughter, and this is about Madison, a 13-year-old, finds herself in hell. And this hell is populated by kind of parallel characters to the characters in The Breakfast Club. It sounds fantastic. I just dipped into it this morning early because I woke up really early and I just dipped into it, and I'm just really excited to read it. It takes place over Christmas as well, I think. Yeah, she's in a Swiss boarding school and she dies over Christmas. I'm not sure if it's a significant part of the story, but I wanted to start reading that one because it sounded so fun. I'm getting warm from drinking my coffee with my Baileys. I'm gonna take my 2 cough. Oh, getting warm. Getting warm. This is really fun because it's something that I thought about picking up for myself but never did, which is always a fun thing to get for Christmas. So my daughter gave me the Final Girls support group. I have been trying to get my hands on the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, but it's sold out everywhere. I wasn't able to get my hands on it, so this will be my first Grady Hendrix. I've never read any Grady Hendrix before. The premise of this book is that, well, in horror stories, in case you're not a horror story fan, which I'm not actually, to be honest. I read My Heart is a Chainsaw in November. I read My Heart is a Chainsaw, and I've been wanting to pick this one up. Anyway, this is the story about a group. It's like a group therapy. I think it's set as group therapy for a group of final girls. Final girls got their name in the horror film genre because they're the last girls standing near the end of the horror film, and they tend to be the central character who ends up defeating the killer, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this book is about a group of final girls that come together. So I guess they're trying to get over the trauma of being final girls. I'm not sure. I'm excited to read it though, because Grady Hendrix has been getting a lot of attention. One of his books, My Best Friend's Exorcism, is being made into a film, which I also would like to read. So that's pretty fun. And then I also got Open Water, which I've heard a lot of buzz about. I'm not sure about this one. I think it's really sweet that it was a gift, and it's definitely not something that I would have picked up for myself because I've hesitated because I don't know if it's really my cup of tea. I think it's a love story, and my understanding is that it's a little bit experimental and that it's written in the second person. I'm not sure. It's written, anyway, apparently it's written in an unusual way. And that's really all I know about it. I know that it's gotten a lot of buzz and a lot of critical acclaim, and I'll definitely give it a go. But I don't know why I was so hesitant about it. Something about it just was making me hold back. I don't know. Maybe I've just read a little bit too much literary stuff this year, and I was leaning a little more into the kind of fun stuff and the thrillers because I'd read so much literary work this year that I wasn't sure, you know, that I could do it. But I'm sure I'll be able to get to it at some point and potentially enjoy it. So it's really sweet. Isn't this cover amazing? Look at this cover. So this is a collection of stories put together called The Sons, but the interesting thing about Kafka, I'm not sure if people watching this know very much about Franz Kafka, but Franz Kafka died of tuberculosis in a sanatorium, and he died before a lot of his works were completed. And he had instructed his friend Max Brod to burn a lot of his work, and his wish for this group of short stories was that they be published together. It says on the back, "I have only one request," Kafka wrote to his publisher, Kurt Wolff, in 1913. And the three stories are The Stoker, The Metamorphosis, and The Judgment belong together, he writes, both inwardly and outwardly. There is an obvious connection among the three, and even more importantly, a secret one, for which reason I would be reluctant to forgo the chance of having them published together in a book that might be called The Sons. So this is a posthumous publication based on a presumption that this is what Kafka wanted, based on that quote. And the third story is called Letter to His Father. I know Kafka had like a very wrought relationship with his father. So this is great. For those of you that aren't familiar with Franz Kafka, he's really most famous for writing a short story called The Metamorphosis, which is included in this collection. The Metamorphosis is the story about a man who wakes up as a beetle. I think he wakes up as a beetle. He wakes up as a bug. It kind of goes downhill from there. It's an existential story. That was great. Love the cover. I read The Trial last year by Franz Kafka. Really nice gift, really nice edition, really nice copy. A lot of the shopping took place at this bookstore called Librairie Saint-Henri Books, which is a new discovery for us. And look at these pretty, isn't that pretty? These bookmarks are so cute. Yeah, really nice bookmarks. I mean, it's something when a little independent bookstore makes those kind of nice bookmarks and gives them away. This, such a nice book. Oh my gosh. This is a collection by Octavia Butler, but what a beautiful edition of stories. A novel, Kindred, and other stories by Octavia Butler. Can we just... Oh my gosh. So I'm really excited. I think this is the first time I've received an edition like this from Library of America, my first Library of America edition. And it includes Kindred, Fledgling, and other collected stories. And I just think it's beautiful. And I'm really looking forward to reading Kindred because I've heard nothing but amazing things about Kindred. So it was just a fantastic gift. It means I don't have to borrow the copy of Kindred from my daughter. She gave me my own copy, which was just so, so, so sweet. This one, this also such an amazing cover. Look at that cover. So this is Virginia Woolf's Flesh. This is a story that Virginia Woolf wrote about, it says, a perfectly accessible introduction to Woolf's genius. The only other book I've read by Virginia Woolf is Orlando, which was really great. But this is nice. It's a little short little novel, and it says Flesh was an English Cocker Spaniel who belonged to the 19th century poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Virginia Woolf learned of him from the love letters Elizabeth wrote to her future husband, fellow poet Robert Browning, and found the figure of their dog made me laugh, so I couldn't resist making him a life. In the resulting biography, so this is a biography of Flesh, their dog, I think it's going to be great. I think she explores the relationship and the correspondence through it, but I'm not sure. I'll let you know when I read it. So I was really happy to receive that as well. The pièces de résistance. So my daughter very, very sweetly picked me up two folio classics. The first one is, I have an older, I should have brought it out to film, but I didn't bring it off my shelf to film. I have a very old hardback copy of Anne of Green Gables that I read when I was a little girl, and was given to me by my mother. So she got me, to kind of go with it, she got me the folio edition of Anne of Avonlea. These editions are just stunning. They have these absolutely beautiful illustrations. Like, look at this illustration. Anyway, they're just beautiful editions. I've never owned a folio edition, although there are some in the library downstairs of my dad's. But yeah, so I thought that was really sweet. And she went to the trouble of ordering that one for me in the summer. And then last year at Christmas time, my daughter gave me a copy of The Handmaid's Tale, which I had read in high school, but I think it really is one of my favorite books. And so she also got me the folio edition of The Handmaid's Tale, which is just, honestly, it's incredible. It's incredible. Like, look at that. These illustrations as well are just insane. Look at that. Look at that. Unbelievable, right? So gorgeous. I know this is a long video. My videos are always long because I chit-chat a lot. So we also went to Indigo because we were very concerned that they were going to shut down the stores. And what would we do? Because we don't have enough books. I picked up a copy of Still Life by Sarah Winman. I've been hearing so much about this writer, and I've never read any of her work. This one I think takes place in World War II. So it's yeah, Tuscany, 1944. Don't want to read too much about the story, but I guess it's about someone going to Italy. Well, obviously Tuscany, war-torn Italy, paintings, art, something. Trying to keep this quick. I'll let you know a little bit more about that book when I do a TBR or when I do book haul. Also picked up The Disappearing Act by Catherine Steadman. If you watch my most recent vlog, I read Something in the Water by her, really enjoyed it, and just wanted to grab another one of her mysteries because I really enjoyed Something in the Water. And I decided to get her newest one. And then this was a bit of a discovery at the bookstore. I'd never heard of this book before. It's called The Scarlet Pimpernell by Baroness Orczy. I don't know how to pronounce that. Baroness Orczy? Scarlet Pimpernell. This is so great. Listen to the blurb on the back. I had not heard of this book. The thrilling story of an aristocratic hero with a double life, the Scarlet Pimpernell set the standard for all tales of masked avengers that would follow. It's a classic that I've not heard of, and I love this edition. One of the Penguin English Library editions that we so love. The only issue that we have with these editions, or that I have with these editions, is that they're a little bit, the paper's not the greatest quality, so they get damaged really easily. Anyway, this one sounds really great. Really high adventure. Set in France during the time of the guillotine. So yeah, the recording just stopped there, but yeah, it's about an elusive Englishman is rescuing imprisoned noblemen and spiriting them across the channel to safety. Sounds fantastic. So I don't think I can hold all of these books up. In fact, I know I can't, but here's a bit of a stack. A little bit of a stack. It's a stack. Where will it end? It's a stack. It's a serious stack. Oh my goodness. So yeah, everyone, happy reading. Merry Christmas. I hope you have a really fun day today. Enjoy yourselves, chill, eat some cake, cookies, Christmas. Have a Christmas coffee. And I will see you. You'll see a vlog up for me before the new year, but I'll be back in the new year with my stats. I'm going to do a video about my stats. Looking forward to that, and TBR and all that good stuff. So bye. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Bye. That is so much better. So got me some cafe. I feel like I'm endlessly trying to get this perfect. Am I crooked? I can't tell. I don't think I'm crooked. I think my brain is maybe crooked. My brain is crooked. That's, I'm so weird. I'm sorry, I'm so weird. My girlfriend is a serial killer. My girlfriend is a serial killer. My best friend's exorcism, totally not my girlfriend, the serial killer. Sometimes I'm good with the hints and sometimes I'm bad with the hints.